Okay, let's do why I dislike World of Tanks. Well, for one, the layout is just too clunky. Yes, I have a moto. You probably heard that in the background. I mean, you gotta go and select, and you have this thing, a garage with so many slots, and you can't have more than that without paying money. I can purchase for either coins or gold is the preferred way. It, I get it. You can search. I mean, not search. You can select filters of what you want to look for. I mean, but it's so disorganized. You know, when I first started playing, I remember when they did this foreman system, and you can get the mods and add another layer or so, but it's just too cumbersome, to be honest. Look at it. It it's so much simpler when you go into War Thunder and you can just look, and there's your nations across the bottom, and then you can have your setups of what you're going to play. Even up here, when you're going into the different things, there is so much stuff. When I came back and played this after 2 years, I picked up that the first battle was bots. I mean, that was pretty easy. But the fact that you have very little choices up here, I mean, for modes or whatever, you have to hop out if you want to play planes or ships, and you got to hop out for each one of those. There's some things that are similar. You know, you got your stuff up here. What I don't like is they have this now World of Tanks Plus, which you have to pay now, it looks like, on top of your premium to get other rewards, which that could have just been included in premium and made people pay a little bit more for premium. The cruise selection and the way that it's done, you don't have any choices, you know, and I don't know how they could each get something. Okay, well, let's see. Good example. I like the fact that you have to have agility and things like that, not arcade-ish things like snapshot or magically increases the chance of critical hit. Concealment, really? Concealment where the enemy is not going to even be visible until they're way out in the open. That's pretty ridiculous. It really is. The fact that you can't move these guys around, it's going to cost you to move them. Because somehow they just can't remember the tank they came out of. Good example, let's go to the tech tree. So this guy in the Wolverine is not going to know anything about the Jackson, and so they'll have to be trained. Understandable. But they're going to still know how to drive. They're similar. It's not that hard. It's just learning the new controls and the layout. You know, I've driven many different vehicles over the years, especially when I was in the military. You know, I've driven the Blazers, the Chevy pickups, the Humvees, the Deuce and a Halves, even an M577 command post carrier tracked vehicle. I've driven them with trailers, without trailers, railheading an entire vehicle attached to it, pulling it onto trains. It's not that hard to transition. And World of Tanks makes it to where magically 5-6 people, or 4 depending on the vehicle, all are stupid and can't remember how to drive the vehicle they drove before. That to me makes no sense. War Thunder having the ability to move them in and out of any kind of vehicle that they've been trained on, it is way more sense. It would make sense that before they went to battle, they would do a refresher on the vehicle, instead of just hop in and go. I imagine that does happen, but it's a rarity. The research tech tree is just so clunky. It is. Your barracks, the fact that you have to have room for all these people. That is ridiculous. They make too much of an issue on the service record and the win rates and everything else, which is fine and all, but the issue with that is that's what created the toxicity in this. All these little achievement awards that they give out that people want to brag about or make people feel good are pretty ridiculous. Collections. Yeah, great. Go to collections. Let's see what collections I've earned. Battle Pass. See, why not just have this in Battle Pass? Why have it as a separate thing onto the side? Why not just have a Battle Pass option? Campaigns, missions, your depot where you store all this stuff that you took off vehicles. It really makes no sense. It doesn't. Store where you can buy your premium goods, or even tanks. Let's see, these things, fire control systems, so on. What about on vehicles that don't have these, can't have these? They shouldn't be on there. I mean, I've heard some of them do. Battle Pass reinforcements, or it's just, I don't know. It's kind of gotten ridiculous. It's turned into a joke. I mean, for one example, there's on the North American server, which now I heard includes a lot more than just the US. There's 13,000, so say 13,100, even though it's just under that, total, with whatever the USC stands for, because it's kind of bouncing around. That's not that many. There are over 3,000 battles on a prime time on War Thunder going on at almost any given moment, and about 130,000 people playing or more at any given moment during the prime time, and they don't even have clan wars. So also this is their summer thing. It's not very tank orientated. I could see something like this if there was anniversary, this would be kind of cool. You know, make it look like a barbecue or a cookout. But this information, set of parameters that show the effectiveness of destroying enemy vehicles. Now, is that mine or is that the overall vehicle? So, what does that mean to me? Really nothing. I mean, I don't need to know that. You know? Fictional tanks. These fun fictional tanks. I remember when it wasn't so much. Yes, I own an E100 and a mouse. Both fake tanks, because they were never produced. I have an E75, never produced. I have an E50 around here somewhere too. There it is. I can't play it anymore. I really can't. And in fact, I think after I get done with this video, I'm uninstalling. The only reason I put it back on is because of friends and an ex-clan mate wanted to get back into the clan. I keep the clan around, so yeah, I'll log into the website to make sure the game stays here. But I just can't do it anymore. I beta tested this game and really enjoyed it because I've always enjoyed tanks. I mean, it's almost what every little boy dreamed of, you know, doing when we were little, because tanks just fascinated us. But we had a good run. We were competitive for a while, twice. It's too much work, especially since all of us had family members. I learned how to budget my Silver Lions. If you look, I have almost that amount in War Thunder, and it took me a lot longer to realize that in this game. I've got about same gold hanging out in War Thunder. No, I've got 500 in War Thunder. Too bad I couldn't transfer this. But I wished it would have gone more the direction War Thunder did with Clan Wars, though. The toxicity, I think, is what killed it. The fact that Wargaming did not address issues, they punished those who spoke about them. That's just one of the many things. The lies were, we were told that they were going to do something, and that wasn't a lie. I'm sure their intent was to do it. But then when something happened preventing them from doing it, they never said anything about that. If they did, they buried it deep in the forums. They never put it on the front page. They kept all of the problems with the cheats and so on quiet, where War Thunder keeps it pretty on the table. Say what you want about War Thunder. You can complain, say Gaijin's a money grabbing thing, but you know what? I can go through this game and show you how much stuff you have to buy with gold if you really want to be successful. If you want to set and play tournaments, strongholds, clan wars, you have to have premium stuff. Because if you don't have the premium items that you need, it's an uphill battle. I can't tell you if they're doing better on the exploits. I am not too trustworthy over their anti-cheat program. I don't think it's as good as War Thunder's. The spotting mechanics, the fact that the maps are too small, War Thunder better not start making smaller maps, because they're going to drive the player base away. The tank battles happen on immense areas, you know, typically, unless they rolled up on a small encounter, which if they wanted to do something like that, that would be a smart idea, a mode that people could turn on or off while they're waiting for battles that could have more realistic, kind of like when they have the special battles. These battles could be similar, say like an actual engagement from World War II, where you can randomly get that along with your 15 versus 15. They definitely have the amount of players now to do something like that easily. They also have the amount of players with it when you get down to 50 seconds waiting to throw them into a 10 on 10 or an 8 on 8. It has potential still, whereas World of Tanks, yeah, I think it's struggling. I haven't looked, but when you can hop on at Clan Wars time and not see too much more than this, I think the peak I've seen since I reinstalled it is 20 something thousand, around 24ish. That's pretty low, especially when I quit. It was 40 50,000 still, with peaks we saw up to 60 70, and that was back when it was just North America. So, but I'll keep the clan alive. I have really good memories. So, time to say goodbye.